Irish seafood. Easy to prepare and easy to cook. For everyday meals.
We've been very lucky with the weather so far recording this series, but unfortunately not today. I'm in Burtonport in Donegal to meet one of Ireland's largest exporters of live shellfish. Each year, Ireland exports over €600 million worth of seafood to more than 70 international markets. I'm meeting Jimmy White at Live Irish Shellfish in Donegal. This is a very impressive setup you have.
Just good timing as well, because we're just packing crab now, which we're exporting for China tonight. These are the brown crab that we're sending by air freight. We're sending them to China tomorrow morning, about 3,000 kilos of them. There's about 22 crabs in that box. Most of them are caught locally. Some of them are caught by boats that can go further out to sea, boats that can carry maybe 10,000 kilos of crab.
Are they stored in the water?
We take them into our water here and we chill them down to 4 degrees. That puts the crab, the comatose, so they put them to sleep.
So they go out this evening, so the water will be drained out and people will hand-pick them.
Tonight at about 7 o'clock, we'll have about 15 or 18 local workers all coming in here 5 or 6 days a week, because we're exporting 6, if not nearly 7 days a week for China. These crab here now in front of us, they're 4 degrees temperature, and you can feel by the coldness of them.
They are cold, aren't they?
We'll put a layer of frozen gel ice on top, tape them up, and the temperature maintains right in the box the whole way till it arrives in China. And when they are open after about 18 or 20 hours, they are still 4 degrees.
That's fantastic.
And then in China, they actually take the crab back out and put them back into their own tanks. And the crab come back to life again. And
it's brilliant. And would there be a mix of male and female here?
No, these are all female crab.
Why is that, Jimmy?
Because they have a much higher meat content. Very, very important. They have 8 legs and 2 claws. So that's the Chinese specification.
So why do the Chinese love brown crab?
They love brown crab because they love the taste. There's a very sweet taste of brown crab. Also, not just a sweet taste, but there's a great salty taste. They use it not just in restaurants and hotels, but they actually use it at weddings, and as well as that, they use it as a gift. People that are working in offices, maybe 3 or 4 different celebrations in the year, they get this beautiful live brown crab in a gift box, which they really, really adore.
And do you supply year-round now to China?
We do. We can supply anything between 8 to 10 tons per week, not just to China, but to Korea, to Taiwan, to Hong Kong, and we're now hoping to get into Vietnam next week. It's well known that our waters, they're just pristine waters, they're pollution-free.
Just crab you do here now?
No, well, we do crab and lobster all year round, but we also we have seasonals. We have about 6 months a year. We have shrimp. We have a beautiful shrimp that we export to France and Spain, and some to Portugal. We also have velvet crab, prawns, the langoustines, usually from about April to June. So we have 6 or 7 products in total, but year-round we have brown crab and we have lobsters about 9 of the 10 months all year.
Brilliant. And you have the lobsters here?
I have lobsters down here, and I'll take you down, you can see them. Okay?
Thank you, Jimmy.
You're very welcome.
So these are all full of
seawater? Yeah, that's all seawater, all pumped from the sea behind us. And it's very, very good quality, clean seawater, best of quality.
Oh, look at that.
Now, these are the blue lobsters. We're exporting this blue lobster actually to Taiwan this coming Thursday. We do it to China and we go to Hong Kong. We also export them to the European market in France, Spain and Portugal. We have our own Vivier lorries. We can put 20 tanks in each lorry. Each tank can carry about 400 kilos of product. So we're carrying them live in water to France, North Brittany, and also down to the north of Spain. And we meet some Portuguese customers in France and they buy the products off us.
Is it difficult to export live shellfish?
Well, it's certainly challenging, but the difficulty is taken away because we get great support from Bordbia in particular. Bordbia are doing a fantastic job for us this last 7 or 8 years because they have offices in Shanghai, they're in Dubai, they're in Paris, they're in Moscow, and I have to mention Bordi Skiwara, BIM also. They give a terrific support to us and our boats relative to the sustainability programs. Absolutely.
It's such an impressive facility.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Keep up the great work.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. St Stephen's Green in the heart of Dublin City is my next Seafood Trails destination. I've come to meet Sean Smith, head chef at the Cliff Townhouse, a hotel and a restaurant where sustainable Irish seafood is a staple on the menu. Come on, Sean. How are you? Good to see you.
Things.
You well?
Good, yeah.
I'm delighted to be here. That's a beautiful looking turbot.
Only come in there this morning. What we'll do is we'll cook the ceviche.
And what is the ceviche?
Well, ceviche is a Peruvian dish. It's raw, but for me, it's not raw. It's when you add the salt, it starts the cooking process. When you add the acidity, like the limes or the pickled ginger, it's all cooking. And you'll see as, say, we make the dish, when you add the tiger milk to it, it'll change. So once it starts changing, it's cooking, the process has started. So raw.
Yeah, it's very lightly cooked.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm squeezing some lime juice, and we're going to make like a tiger milk. Tiger milk's got lime, a little bit of pickled ginger, and say a piece of turbot. So you can use red peppers, passion fruit with haddock or a salmon. Salmon's quite good because it's quite fatty as well. And then we're going to use clementines today. So with clementines, it's kind of in season at the moment.
So how much lime juice do you need?
That's about a half litre. And then we put in some chili.
Chili, okay.
A little bit of pickled ginger. Some of these clementines cut already, Neven. And we just put 5 into it. We put a bit of red onion as well. So that's okay. And what we need to do now is need to get a piece of turbot. There's a kind of a line here, you know. So
the mastered work. Stunning. So that's one of the fillets there.
That's one of the fillets. There's four on them.
And then we see with the bones, do you make a stock or what do you do?
The stock, yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of fish.
No bother to you. Look at that.
So we just take the skin off it. And like normally, you know, at college, what they do, they tell you to move the skin and stuff, but I'm not really a fan of it.
Okay.
Because you always get this. If you move the skin, look.
Yeah, that's right. You get
what happens is you get this little layer of fat here. So I normally just move the knife. And then you're left with this.
Would you keep that for a sauce or something?
Sauce or it's not so bad with the turbot, but more with the salmon you can see the difference in
That's true, the dark.
The dark meat. I think this is enough. So you see the foam on the top of it? When we let that rest, that'll all separate out. And we'll take off all the, what we'll call the impurities.
Would that be spicy now? You put in what?
Yeah, it's kind of a spicy hotness, coolness. What we'll do is we'll cut, say, 3 nice pieces out of this. These I'm going to use for the ceviche. Dice this up, and I kind of prefer to have a square, you know?
Yeah.
So if you have something that's a wee bit too small like this, it's not going to... So we have try and keep everything near enough the same size.
That's what I was going to ask you, so the same size.
The same size the whole way through. So we'll move over here, take this little bowl, and I'll put this in here for now. So this is our tiger milk, and you can see, remember we talked about the foam on the top?
Yes, I do.
We need to take this off. You can see the way it comes off.
And do you use that or not?
No, we don't. Try not to use this at all. And you can see underneath the foam, there's the real... Did you see it?
Clear. So that's important to let it sit.
Let it sit.
Come up to the top.
You probably let it sit for an hour.
And that's where it originates, this recipe, Peru,
This
is
is
it?
the Peruvian.
So it's very healthy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no really fats in it, you know.
No.
Look, now it's starting to come a bit more clear, you know.
Looks like grapefruit juice, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. So we'll discard that.
I'll move that out of it. Okay.
A little bit of chili.
So fresh chili.
Fresh chili. We take a little bit of the red onion. Not so much. We have a couple of little of clementines, which we've already peeled before.
They're gorgeous.
And here we have a little bit of dill.
So there's lots of lovely colour in that.
So nice and thin.
Good sharp knives are important.
sharp knife,
for your
yeah,
fish,
and-
for your veg, everything.
Makes life a bit easier, all right?
It does, doesn't it?
So we can add the chilies, we can add as much whatever we want and how we want it, you know? So, pull this in here.
There's lovely freshness and colour, isn't it?
This adds a different dimension to it.
Your chili.
The chili and a little bit of red onion. And we have so everything that we have in here, we have in here.
So you've made your juice and then...
The
okay,
juice,
there's
and
extra.
then we put a few of these into it. We have a little bit of clementines into it. And then we just add a little bit of tiger milk. And obviously salt. So we're just going to give it a good, healthy thing of salt, yeah?
So you mix it all together.
Mix it all together.
You can see it kind of changing a
You
little
can
bit.
see the changing out, so it's cooking, so it's not so raw.
So you wouldn't leave this for an hour or two. It needs to be
No,
kind of
no,
served.
it kind of needs to be served straight away, you know?
It's changing.
It's changing, you know, you can see it changing. Yeah, the turbot's quite tough, you can
Yeah,
see
it's a
it.
firm fish.
It's a firm fish.
Yeah, it's fresh, it's spicy, and it's just very refreshing. And for anyone who wanted to make this, you could serve it in a wee glass, something like
Glass
that.
or a bowl. We can change this out to passion fruit, watermelon, change the fish.
Seen it done with halibut too, it's really good.
Halibut, passion fruit, scallops,
yeah.
passion fruit. You could put some texture into it, like hazelnut or breadcrumbs.
And one question, how long would that keep, the tiger milk?
We tend to keep it for a day and a
day,
half.
that's
Day
it,
and a
okay.
half, you know.
Okay.
The more fresher it is, the better it is. That's the kind of
Brilliant.
thing.
Great to see you, Sean.
Thanks very much, yeah.
Thanks, we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, yeah. All the best.
Bordbia, bringing Irish seafood to the world. Bordbia, bringing Irish seafood to the world.
I've eaten Japanese sushi many times in Dublin, but here in the Blackrock Market in South Dublin is something I'd never have expected to find: Hawaiian sushi. The food scene in Ireland is so exciting, with new restaurants and street food stalls opening up all of the time, catering to our demand for the latest thing. And Hawaiian sushi could be just that. Okay, this is cool.
Dave, my business
Hey,
partner.
how are you? Good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
It's great to be here. Yeah. So tell me about the name. What does the name mean?
So shaka is basically a hand gesture in Hawaiian, which means to hang loose. So it's just one of these guys.
Oh, that. I often wondered what that meant. Okay.
Surfs up or whatever.
Poke is the cuisine, which is traditional Hawaiian cuisine. It's sashimi fish marinated in a soy sesame. We do it with the garlic ginger. And then it goes on a bed of rice.
Gorgeous, because I know nothing about Hawaiian cuisine. It seems very, very healthy, and I'm seeing a selection here. So, Dave, tell me what you offer here.
Right on, so we got the tuna and salmon here, and then you can kind of mix in a load of veg and fruit, and then we have free toppings down the end. Should I get you started on a bowl?
Yeah, so much colour. I mean, so how long are you in business, guys?
We've been here since February, but we've been doing farmers markets and food markets since May 2017, so just about a year and a half.
So you're based here in the Blackrock Market. Are you open every day?
Yeah, we're open 7 days a week, 12 to 8 p.m.
And then the markets as well, Wednesday to Friday and some weekends, so.
Tell me about the whole idea, how you came about opening this.
Myself and Jamie were travelling. We were living in Canada, working in a lot of kitchens, and then we did a road trip at the end of our 2-year visa down the west coast, and we saw poke everywhere in LA. Everywhere we went, there was queues out the door. So we went over to London, checked out a few spots over there, and then decided to bring it here. We didn't fancy an office job, so.
And you're the first in Ireland to do this.
We were, yeah.
That's fantastic. So tell me how it works. This is totally new for me.
Right on, so I'll start you off. You can have a bed of spinach or rice, or a bit of both.
Sure, why not? A bit of both.
Oh, yeah,
why not?
Get it into it.
Yeah, good and healthy. So is that the whole idea? It's super healthy.
That is it, yeah. That's one of the food trends that we kind of saw and thought this could be a winner.
And is it any particular rice?
It's brown rice.
Oh, excellent. So what's going in there?
Soy sauce, just
Soy
a bit of
sauce.
tamari, gluten-free. And would you prefer to try the tuna or the salmon?
I love the tuna. So do you get the fish in and then you cut it? Is that what happens?
Yeah, slice and dice.
We get it in fresh every morning.
Yeah. And have you anything in that? Because it looks very moist. Is there any oil or anything in that?
There is soy, sesame, and then a few bits and bobs, obviously some scallions.
Secrets.
Yeah.
So some spring onion, gorgeous.
And then we have all the toppings down here.
So talk to me about the different toppings.
Really highly recommend the seaweed. It's like a Japanese seaweed salad.
Yeah. And the name of it?
Wakame.
Wakame.
in
Is there
there
seeds
for
or
you.
something in that?
Yeah, it's
Dave,
in a
yeah?
sesame oil as well, and sesame seeds. I'd recommend the edamame as well.
Absolutely.
And we'd usually recommend a fruit as well.
Oh, I love watermelon.
Try a bit
And
of that.
again, sesame seeds. So you said it's a traditional dish in Hawaii. Is this what they would eat normally? Would the fishermen eat this?
Yes, exactly. It was actually the Hawaiian fishermen that out at sea would use a technique called poke to cut or slice the tuna into cubes and then marinate it. It then has been taken into mainland America, where the concept is introduced things such as seaweed, tropical fruit, but everything's got to be fresh.
I think the mango would be very good to go in
Oh,
there
go
as well,
for it.
so throw some of that.
So you're getting fruit, fish, everything, brown rice.
Yeah.
Ticks all the boxes.
And then for the free toppings down the end,
Tell me what you have
we
there.
have some crispy onion, pickled onion that we do in-house, pickled ginger, coriander, chilies, and pomegranate seeds.
God, I love pomegranates. What do you think?
Yeah, I think
do you
we'll throw
recommend?
some of them on. Do you like spice?
Absolutely.
We'll throw a little few
Why
chilies
not?
on there. Then
Might
as
be able
well.
to talk after it. So what have we got in the dressings?
All the sauces are house-made as well. There is a shaka sauce, which is our house sauce. It's like a honey aioli.
And what else have we got? Talk me through.
We have spicy mayo, wasabi mayo, a peanut satay, citrus ponzu, an avocado pesto, and sriracha.
Avocado pesto. And all made in-house here.
Yep, absolutely.
That's really impressive. You go for it, whatever you want to.
Do you want to try the avocado pesto?
Sure, why not? It's always the first. Sure, why not? I have a lot of firsts here. So is there any other herbs in that?
Yeah, there's basil.
Basil, gorgeous.
And some
Sesame seeds,
sesame
I love
seeds on
them.
top.
Yeah. I love it.
And this is for you.
This is for me. I'm not going to leave here hungry. Now that is impressive. So recap what we have here. So the first layer you done.
Spinach and rice.
Yeah.
And then we got our tuna. Then we have some wakame, seaweed salad, edamame, watermelon, mango, and some toppings on top.
So what's the most popular on the menu?
Our classic shaka does very well. They're all pretty even. The ponzu party, which has the wakame, the seaweed salad, and avocado, is very popular.
A lot of people have never tried the food before, so they kind of ask. And the classic is kind of the go-to.
So that's probably your signature, what you started with.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, you said you go out and do markets. Do you offer all this, the markets?
We offer the top 5 options there at markets, yeah.
Do you know what I love? I love the mango with it, kind of cuts through the heat, obviously because of the chili. This is delicious, guys. The key for this is fresh ingredients.
Absolutely,
your fresh
yeah.
fish and your beautiful fresh.
It's the absolute key to a poke bowl.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's, anytime I think of that, I'll be thinking of your lovely dish. That's so cool. Dave, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Yeah,
Absolutely
great to see
delicious.
you.
I'm looking forward to finishing this.
Pleasure,
Good
Neven.
stuff.
Jamie, keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Well done, lads. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
It may seem odd to be in Kilkenny as part of my seafood trails, but I'm here to meet Ger Kerwin, who owns one of Ireland's longest established fish farms.
This was the first privately owned trout farm in Ireland, so opened late 62, early 63. My parents, their ancestors were corn millers, and they operated here on a corn mill for hundreds of years. That shut on my grandfather's watch in 1913. In total, we run and manage 6 farms now. We produce about 500 to 600 tons of fresh trout. 80% of those are fresh, and then the other 20% would be sold in added value.
And it's yourself and Mags?
Yeah, so myself and Margaret, we took over from my parents. Okay, so maybe let's go catch a fish.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Love to.
So what we have here, Neven, is we have a pond, okay?
Yep.
In this pond, then, we have fish which are all of a generation. So they're followed right from the egg stage to this stage by like a tag. So we know then the number of fish in the pond. We know the conditions, oxygen level, temperature. It's like a science. You then know how much you should be feeding them. You know when they'll hit a certain target weight.
So what length of time would the trout be in here?
From egg stage to market size, we're talking somewhere from 14 to 24 months, all depending on what stage we're selling them at.
What are they actually fed on?
The fish feed is made from primarily fish meal, fish oil, and wheat as a binder. These guys, as distinct from cattle, they have an FCR of about 1.2 to 1, whereas cattle, it's about 5 to 1.
What does that mean,
So in other
FCR?
words, what that would mean is that they would eat like 1.2 tons of food to convert into 1 ton of flesh.
So now, show me how this is
I'll
done.
I'll do my magic. So just have to be careful.
Oh, you have to
Okay,
get
so
right in.
it's about a metre deep.
Okay.
Oh,
Hey,
a professional.
look at that. Can I help you? I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
pretty useless here.
Oh, yeah, you hold that, Neven. Yeah, exactly. So there you see absolute beauty.
What are you looking for now? Okay.
So people look
Yeah.
for the shine off the
Yes.
skin.
What weight would that be there now?
So that guy's around 950 grams, so you know he's quite sizable. So I think maybe we'll turn him back into
Okay.
pig.
Heavy work, isn't it?
I will. You should have come into the factory.
And with the trout, what products do you produce?
Yeah,
first?
80% of the fish are sold fresh, so they will be generally sold in a fillet form or in a gutted form. So maybe some chefs prefer to get the fish on the bone and to do their own thing.
That's right.
Okay? We'll facilitate that. Similarly, lots of people now want everything prepped, and we'll do that as well. About 20% of what we produce now goes into added value. So we have our trout pate, which is a smoked trout pate, tin smoked trout goujons. The standout kind of in terms of brand product in recent years has been the trout caviar. I gather you've used yourself, Neven.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's...
It was voted the chef's favourite at the Blosnahairn Awards recently.
That's a nice award to get.
For many years, this is a product that we were discarding and maybe had no value on. So that's the
That's
one.
it there.
That's
Look
the.
at this.
That's the. It took about 2.5 years to develop.
And how do you like to eat this?
With avocado and maybe with some smoked trout pate as well.
The smoked trout and the
Yeah,
caviar.
yeah, and a little bit of avocado as well,
Can I
onwards
taste?
and upwards. Yeah, yeah.
Is this a special caviar spoon?
Yeah, yeah, you're supposed to have ivory with caviar,
Why?
you see. Because I think if you have metal spoon, the suggestion is that metallic taint or whatever, for sure, I think you try maybe get the little pop sensation in your mouth. We've sold lots of caviar to Belgium, Germany, like we're selling in the UK. So what started as a little small few ponds in the backyard, it has kind of grown and mushroomed now over the years, thank God.
You're some man. Both of you. Thanks
yeah,
too. It's great being down here
Great,
in
so,
Ghost
yeah.
Bridge. Thank you so much for having
Okay,
me.
Neven, no problem.
It's gorgeous. Now,
Yeah.
would you like some?
Yeah.
You don't mind sharing the spoon?
Yeah.
Good man. Steaming is a great way of cooking fish. It's quick, gives great flavour to the fish and keeps all the moisture in. I'm using hake for this recipe and I'm going to steam it in a bamboo steamer. You can use lots of different fish, haddock, whiting, turbot, brill, but hake is a beautiful fish. Just make sure you get it from your local fishmonger. He'll do all the hard work. He'll fillet it, he'll pin bone it, but I'm keeping the skin on because I think it keeps great moisture on the fish. Scales are removed and all we're going to do is just season it up and then into our steamer. Couldn't be easier. So a little bit of sea salt. And I'm actually sitting the fish on parchment paper. It's just easy to lift the fish out of the steamer. A little drizzle of some rapeseed oil, and then just literally smear that all over. Lift the lid off the steamer, and this is a bamboo steamer. So this is a wok, just quarter fill it with cold water, bring it to the boil, as you can see, it's beautifully boiling. Give them a little bit of a space in between each piece of fish. The lid goes on. Perfect. We're going to do a lovely little sauce with this, and this is a smoked paprika and red pepper sauce. Just drizzle a little bit of oil. Into this, we have some shallot. Shallot is a small variety of onion, nice and sweet, finely diced. You hear that nice sizzle? Roasted red peppers from a jar is perfect. So I'm going to put these in here. Now I'm going to put some smoked paprika into this. Smoky, delicious, no way hot, but works really well with the roasted red peppers. To thicken this, a little bit of tomato puree, roughly about a heaped teaspoon. And the base for this is a little bit of fish stock, or you can use vegetable stock. So stir that. Oh, I can smell the smokiness. And then I'm going to finish it with a little bit of milk and cream, salt and pepper, and that's it. It's not a heavy sauce, it's a light sauce. And that looks good. And then a pinch of salt, a little bit of black pepper. That'll be just cooked in a few minutes. So with the hake, I'm going to make a cassoulet beans, and we're using some chorizo sausage cut into small little cubes. So the beautiful thing about hake, it works so well with all these lovely flavours. They're not going to overpower, they're going to enhance it. So grab your chorizo. You can just hear it beginning to sizzle. So just give that a moment, and that's going to draw out the lovely oil from the chorizo. So now, I've just kind of crisped up the chorizo a little bit. Now we're going to add in our beans, and remember these are cooked. We just need to warm these through. I'm going to put in a little bit of stock, or you can use water, but just a little bit of stock here. And we're going to put in some butters. This is going to create an emulsion. It's going to give a nice little glaze. These are just beans from a can. Berlotti, red beans, little black-eyed beans, pinch of salt, a little bit of black pepper, and then lots of lovely herbs. So just stir that through. So you can see the butter is melting through with the stock and that lovely oil that comes out of the chorizo. It works really, really well. So lovely fresh herbs. A little bit of basil, a little bit of flat leaf parsley. Roll up all your herbs, cutting this nice and thin using a good sharp knife. And then mince the beans. A couple of chopped chives. You don't have to go and use 3 herbs, you can just use 1. If I was to pick one, I'd say it's probably the basil or else the flat leaf parsley. Now, so just taste this. I love that. That chorizo and the herbs give great freshness. That on its own is just delicious. For the sauce, we're going to blend it. With my stick blender and just blend. Hold it away from you. No flour. I put a little bit of cream and a little bit of milk just to enrich it. Lovely. So to serve up, grab my plate. First thing we do is the beans. So with the chorizo just in the center of the plate. So you have lots of different tastes and texture there. Lovely herbs, a little bit of butter, a little bit of stock. So for me, the star of the show is the fish. It doesn't take very long because it's off the bone. Now be really careful, look at how moist that is. Beautiful. Just using a fish slice, it's the easiest. Place that on top. And then our lovely sauce. Just a little drizzle around the plate. Look at how vibrant and beautiful that is. We're going to serve it just with a couple of little microgreens. We have a little bit of salad cress and then some nasturtium leaves. A couple of edible flowers, full of flavour and absolutely beautiful. That's my steamed hake with the cassoulet beans and chorizo and the red pepper sauce.
Irish seafood. Easy to prepare and easy to cook. For everyday meals.